Hello students, welcome to Unacademy. Now without wasting much of our time, as promised, I'll analyze the entire second slot of SNAP 2020 which happened today in not more than 5 to 7 minutes. So let's come to the point. All of this data has been collected from my students who attempted the paper today. So let's start with logical reasoning. Logical reasoning सबसे पहले when compared to slot 1 which happened on 20th of December 2020. Logical reasoning was little more tricky. Yes, from blood relations we had 4 questions. In 4 questions there were 2 questions based on a set, and the set was pretty trickier. Trickier in what sense? उन्होंने एक scenario दे रखा था where there is a home where there are 5-6 different rooms, and somebody sitting in one room is somebody sitting in second room, of somebody sitting in third room. So rooms का actually कोई relation नहीं था. The data was waste data, redundant data added to the question only to trick the students. ठीक है? So we had 2 questions based on that, और बाकी के 2 question और single question of blood relation, and the overall level of blood relation was moderate. Direction sense पर you had 2 very easy questions. Clocks पर you have 1 very easy question. The question was कि how many degrees the minute hand has covered, and when it has covered 25 minutes. Yes, calendars पर again there were 2 moderate questions. A particular date was given. The question was something like क्या था question? हाँ, 4th January 1987 was Monday. So what was 4th January 1988? This was one of the question of calendars. There were 2 questions on cause and effect, a part of critical listening. Surprisingly, syllogism was not there in the first slot, was asked today, a pretty basic one. The question was some elephants are kids and some kids are some kids are something, and all dash are dash. It was pretty easy. Syllogism, so you had 1 question. Number series again was on the a little bit of moderate to difficult side, not moderate to difficult side. You had 3 questions based on that, and alphabetical series but you had 2 questions. So what this alphabetical was present in the first slot, number series was present in the first slot, critical reasoning was in the first slot, clock calendars were in the first slot, blood relation was in the first slot, and direction sense was there in the first slot. So for third slot again you can prepare all of these for sure. Syllogisms, as I said, is an important topic, so you have to prepare syllogism as well. But it was not asked in the first slot, but it has very bright chances to be asked in the next slot. The major topics that were missing were symbols and notations, input-output, coding-decoding, and yes. Now, having said that, let's move to quantitative reasoning. Again, the paper was overloaded with very basic questions of arithmetic. We had 9 to 10 questions based on arithmetic. Surprisingly, again, they had 1 question from algebra this time, and that was of moderate level. Arithmetic were of pretty easy to moderate level. Averages nikalne the basic averages. There was a question from log, which was easy. Trigo se surprisingly there were 2 questions this time. Both of them were easy. One of the question was what is sine 45 plus tan 45, I believe. And the second was what is the value of sine 42 upon cos 48. So pretty basic ones. ठीक है? Data interpretation pe you had 1 question based on tables, a very easy question based on tables. Probability pe you have reversed probability pe 1 question. Probability was given and the value was to be figured out. Mensuration pe you had 2 questions. Mensuration pe you had 2 very easy questions, and numbers pe you had 2 easy to moderate level questions. So as expected, and the overall paper when compared to the first slot was a little calculative, but was again easy. When we move to verbal reasoning, the questions were asked from active passive, 2 of them. Idioms say there were 2 questions. Fill in the blanks, there were 2 questions. Analogy said there were 3 questions. Vocab based, where there were 5 questions, and sentence opening पे you had 2 questions. This section is said कि इस बार सबसे ज़्यादा difficulty level has increased when compared to slot 1. So I do strongly recommend, you cannot do much with vocab in 3 days. You have next paper on 9th of slot. So I do strongly recommend the active passive work on little grammar, idioms and analogies. Focus on these 3 and you might get away with the examination. If I speak of overall, so logical reasoning में there were in 25 questions in all, 25 questions, and I believe somewhere around 20 to 22 is a good attempt. For quant, there were 20 questions in all, and somewhere around 16 to 18 is a very good attempt. And for verbal, you had 15 questions, and somewhere around in 15, I believe 10 to 12 is a good attempt, assuming 100% accuracy. If you take overall this examination into picture, so what I think that if you score 43 plus, you'll land somewhere around 99 plus percentile, 40 plus for 98 plus percentile, 37 plus for 96 plus percentile, 35 plus for 93 plus percentile, 33 plus marks for 90 plus percentile. So you can check whether you like. Normalization का जहाँ तक सवाल है, I don't think normalization will come into picture, only because they are going to select the best marks out of your 2 attempts. So normalization ऐसे cases में generally नहीं होता है. Normalization is what? कि आप slot 1 में आपने paper दिया, slot 2 has completely different candidates, slot 3 has completely different candidates. In this case, we normalize. But there is the same student who is attempting 2 slots out of 3 slots. So this is the overall analysis of today's paper. Now you know what to prepare for the next examination, which has to be conducted on 9th of Jan. Yes. Meanwhile, I do strongly recommend कि आप लोग क्या करो, join our Telegram channel for such more updates, जो भी है accurate updates. You can also reach me out on Telegram. This is my Telegram link. You have to look for Unacademy _Ashish, and you'll reach to my group, and you can ask all of your doubts to me directly. This is my group. I have 600 plus students in there. If you're preparing for CAT 2021 या OMITS 2021, subscription thing can actually help you. I do strongly recommend that students should go with 2-year subscription and working professionals should go with 1-year subscription. All of this comes in price of nuts. Sure. If you have any query regarding anything, you guys can reach me out. And yes, best of luck for 9th of Jan. Snap aspirants.